There are two things that used to eat my week running an ad agency: building ad campaigns for clients and the cold outreach. Finding the right brands, crafting the angle, writing sequences, loading everything into Apollo, managing the follow-ups. Both are non-negotiable if you want to grow. Both are brutal when you're doing them manually, and both are now almost completely automated. Today, I want to pull back the curtain on how I got there and what it actually means for the brands we work with. What's going on, everyone? I'm Frank. Welcome back to the channel. Quick note before we get into this. This video has two audiences, and I'm going to speak to both. If you're a DTC brand owner, I want you to understand what's possible when an agency has actually invested into their infrastructure, what you should be expecting, and what the gap looks like between agencies that have done this work and ones that haven't. If you run your own agency, I'm going to show you the actual setup, what is replaced, and what the ROI has looked like. No gatekeeping. On a story, about 18 months ago, a typical week looked like I'm manually building campaigns in Meta, Google for multiple clients, along with the team, writing ad copy, tweaking targeting back and forth with clients on revision. That's half my time, easily. And on top of that, I'm trying to grow the agency, which means outreach, figuring out which brands to target, what angle to lead with, writing sequences, writing email sequences, loading them into Apollo, follow-up, tracking replies. And here's the honest part. I was decent at all of it. I knew how to build good campaigns. I knew how to write outreach that got replies, but I was spending 7% of my time on the execution and maybe 30% on the stuff that actually moves the needle. Strategy, client relationship, growing the business. The ratio doesn't scale, and I knew it. I started building a different way to work. I tried a lot of things before I landed on a stack that actually worked. Most AI tools at the time were surface level. Generate some copy, summarize something, useful but not transformative. What I needed wasn't a tool that assisted me. I needed agents that could execute, that could take an instruction and go do the things, not just tell me how to do it. The stack I landed on is Claude Code, Paperclip, and OpenClaw. Maybe you've heard of them. Claude Code is the AI brain. It reasons, plans, and execute complex instruction. Paperclip is the connector and lets Claude actually operate inside platforms like Meta, Google, and Apollo. And OpenClaw is the agent layer where I give the high-level instruction and the whole workflow runs. Together, I give the instructions, the agent think it through, the agent does it, I review. Let me show you what that looks like for both the automation I mentioned. Now, I have my screen put up over here. I'm gonna walk you through what it is that I'm talking about. So first and foremost, we have OpenClaw per what I mentioned, right? And this video is not a walkthrough on how to set up all these things. You can find those down in the description below, but I will show you what is capable and what you can do with these things. And if you've been living under a rock, I mean, you've heard a lot about OpenClaw and like its capability and what is actually possible, right? And there's different use case for some of them. Like if you run an agency, obviously you can use them differently than if you're a content creator or if you're a software developer. Like they all have their use cases. But as an agency owner, right, I've automated a lot of things that I didn't think was possible before. Now, let me walk you through this. In OpenClaw, so this is essentially like the back end of it, right? This is my dashboard, right? And so you have over here, this is like the main thing that I use a lot, which is the chat, in which how I communicate with my agents, right? I have about 3 different agents over here, right? One of them you'll see, this is Jordan, this is Luffy, and then you have Christina, right? Those are the agents that I have created. Now, those agents also have sub-agents. Those sub-agents are like, essentially, when you think about like a company, you have like the CFO, and then you have people like underneath them that executes on tasks, right? So this is something similar, right? So so Luffy, Jordan, they have different roles in the company, and they have people underneath them who are the sub-agents that executes on different tasks, right? So for example, you have like Jordan, who is the director of sales, right? He has people underneath him who are sub-agents, right? One of them who is essentially like doing outreach. One of them essentially like crafts like messaging, and the other one is essentially like finding like the right targets to which we can input all of those targets, all those contacts in Apollo. And then one of them just essentially just runs the automation, right? So they all have different tasks as sub-agents, right? The same thing for Luffy and the same thing for Christina. Like Christina is essentially the media buyer. I mean, she's essentially like the VP of paid media, right? And she has sub-agents that does like the media buying, that does the copywriting, that does like the creative work. it's crazy. You literally have like a team of employees that does the work for you, and all you have to do is give them the prompts and they go ahead and do it, right? And the good thing about this, like, I don't always have to have my laptop to do this. I have this also connected on my phone, and through my phone I have this connected on Discord, right? And again, I'll show you the workflow, like how all this is possible, because this is just insane. This is crazy, right? So you'll see over here, per what I mentioned, you have like the different agents, and you can see like my communication back and forth. You'll see my communication back and forth between like the agents, right? I'll show you in more details what that looks like in Discord. But this is like some of the work that it's doing. I'll give it commands and it'll just go ahead and like execute it. Okay, so that's that. And you can also see the same thing for what I have over here, like for Luffy, right? He is the CEO essentially, and I just give it a lot of tasks and it just goes ahead and just executes. So you'll see a lot of the different things that it's like provided me, right? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so essentially when you're over here on this part of like the OpenClaw, right? And one of the things that you'll notice is like on the left-hand side, you have like agents, right? So the agents is essentially where you have all the different agents that you have, for what I mentioned, right? So over here, I have Jordan, I have Luffy, and the main one over here, which is Christina. This one, it doesn't have a name over here, right? And they also have like sub-agents, per what I mentioned, right? The sub-agents are essentially like other agents that work directly under them. So like when I give a command to like Christina or like Luffy or Jordan, they don't actually do it. They're assigned the tags to the different sub-agents to actually go ahead and execute them based upon what their skill set are, right? And another thing that you'll notice over here is like the skills, right? So you probably won't see it over here, but like I'll show you more of that in the Discord channel. But you'll have over here, or actually no, you can see over here. So you have like the skills over here. So over here I have like 57 skills for all my different agents, right? Which is actually quite it's crazy. So let's see, workspace build, built-in skills. So you can see all the different skills over here that my agents have, like all the different skills, which is like insane. Like, look at this, right? So that's one part of OpenClaw, right? And then over here, you also have like tools, right? So let me give you a run through what this actually looks like. So for what I mentioned, so I have like my OpenClaw connected to Discord, right? So you can see that I have Discord connected over here, right? So you can see essentially like the different channels that I have within like my Discord. So like the CEO growth, as I mentioned before, this is where Luffy and I have our communication per like growing the company and like the different tags that comes with growing the company. So we have that discussion all over here, as you can see, right? This Discord is also on my phone over here. I don't have to be on my desktop working all the time. I could be out and about somewhere just doing something, and if I need to communicate something to the team and for them to execute upon, I can go ahead and do that, right? And so, for example, on my phone, so we typically have a sales channel over here. So this is where like the sales team, like all activity regarding sales lives, right? And so I'm gonna show you an example of how this works, because this is actually crazy. So I'm gonna say, hey, Jordan, because he is essentially like a head of sales. So I just assigned one task to our agents, right? So what Jordan is gonna go ahead and do, he's gonna go ahead and allocate those tasks to the sub-agents that it has directly working under him, right? In addition to that, we're gonna leave sales, we're gonna go on the paid media channel, right? So on this one, I'm gonna do this one on my laptop. So in the paid media channel, so I'm gonna tell our VP of paid media, who is Christina, I'm gonna say, and so what I'm gonna do is like, I'm gonna go to our Slack channel. So I'm gonna find this drive so that our team actually put together this creative. So I'm gonna find the drive and I'm gonna paste it in here, and then let's see what she does. She's working on that, right? I can go back to the CEO and have him also do other tasks, right? Another thing that I could do is essentially have the CEO put together like a report from like any one of the campaigns, right? Typically, this is something that I would do in the paid media channel, but I can also do that in the CEO growth growth channel, right? But just to also show you an example of what that would actually look like, I'm gonna go just like in the general channel. This is why I can communicate with all the agents together. So let's do this for Luffy. So I'm gonna say, hey, can you and then boom. And like the spelling doesn't have to be perfect because they understand what it is that I'm saying, right? Now, let me go back on my phone over here. So it gave me details, explanation, like literally, so perfect. I've built a premium DTC jewelry sequence targeting King Eye's competitors. I just researched. Let me create the sequences on top of finding like the prospects, right? So it just gives me a detailed explanation of what it actually did. And then it'll list like everything down, the prospect that it added, the personalized sequences, etc., etc. Like it just gives me all the details. Even lets me know what emails it's using to send out those email campaigns. Now, obviously, it's not gonna set the campaigns active. It just sits in there for me to review it, and then I can tell them to activate the campaigns. So let's go on Apollo and actually find this. Cool. We're gonna go back to Apollo. We're gonna go over here to Apollo. And then we're gonna refresh it. The thing, we didn't actually tell it what to name it, so we essentially kind of have to find it, but it should be something related to jewelry brands. So I'm gonna go on the sequences and let's see how it executed that. Cool, crazy. So you can see over here the sequence and the date in which it just created it, right? So you see it has the Lion Media DTC jewelry brands sequence. Like, obviously you guys didn't see me touch anything. Like it just went ahead and just did that for me, right? And I can also look into the sequence and see if it added the steps. However, it didn't add any of the steps because I didn't instruct it on what to do, essentially. I just told it to create a sequence, right? I can go back and have it add like different steps, meaning, okay, on day one, they're gonna send the first message that you crafted. On day two, you're gonna send the second message that you just crafted, et cetera, right? It can go ahead and do that. So that's the first task that we've automated, right? And after I reviewed everything, I can just go ahead and activate it myself without me actually, again, just doing the manual work of like finding the contacts, creating the sequences, adding the steps, writing the messages, and like turning it on myself. It does that like for me, right? So like this is what is happening with just like AI now, right? Cool. So that's the sales part that I mentioned that we've automated. Let me go and show you guys on Meta and see if we got a campaign build. So let's actually do this from the phone. So we're gonna go to the paid media. Perfect. So perfect. AI sales campaign for Pay 102. However, I can't directly access the Google Drive, but I can work with the asset okay. So I guess I can't access the Google Drive. I have to provide it like actual assets because for some reason I can't access the Google Drive. But let's see, it's letting me know that, let's see, we have ad set 2 created, 2 ads created, ready to launch. Okay, now let's go on Meta and see if it built this campaign for us. Now I will say this, like, it's not 100% perfect. Like I just wouldn't yet just run everything for you, meaning like build the campaigns without you having to check, making sure everything is as you want it. I always check the work of what the AI is doing before I actually set it live, like myself, right? I'm gonna refresh this page. Actually, no, I don't even need to refresh this because it's actually here. So as you guys can see, so it named it what I named it to name it. So it has Christina AI Sales. That's what I told it to name it, right? Now, the only thing that it didn't do was build the ads. Well, actually, let's see if it did, because I didn't provide it the correct folder to access the creative that we need to build inside the ads itself. But let's go through the actual campaign that it built out, right? It has $100 a day average spend on that. Even though I didn't necessarily like specify, like it will look at what I previously done in the account and essentially try to guess what we have been doing, right? So boom, that campaign. And so these are essentially like the assets that it's created in here. So you see Christina AI manual targeting, and then it also create Christina AI Advantage Plus broad. So I actually created 2 ad sets for us. So let's look at the first one. Again, I didn't provide any ads for it to build, but typically it will just build generic ad for me and then I can just go back and update it. So I want to see if it did that this time. And if you're not sure, you can always go back to the chat and see it tells you exactly what it did. Okay, so it's telling me I can't access Google Drive link directly, but I'm ready to create the ads once you have uploaded your assets here, right? So again, I can just go in here actually, because again, it's telling me that I didn't provide it with the creative to build, so it actually didn't do that. So what I'll need to do is go back, find creative, and then just provide it to her so she can go in and build it. Guys, so like this is what is like happening with just like AI and like just the whole agency. So, you know, myself, I'm like, I don't need to hire as many media buyers to execute on all our different accounts, right? So we can have one media buyer that has all these different agents that it can just build the campaigns for it. And I can do that myself too as well. So this is a tool that I'm equipping my whole entire team with based upon like their roles, right? The person that's in charge of sales is gonna have AI essentially build and execute sequences and find contacts for us to reach out to, right? So again, the tools that I use for this is OpenClaw. That's the main tool that I just showed you guys over here, right? And to install OpenClaw, I'll have the details in the description below. But how I install OpenClaw is by using Claude Code. I use Claude Code just to do everything for me in the sense that it's gonna install OpenClaw, right? And if there's any bugs or any issue with OpenClaw, I just let it know like, hey, this is the issue that I'm having, and it just goes and fixes it. I'll share more information on how to set that up in the description below, right? The next thing that I also want to walk you guys through briefly is what I use as well is Paperclip. Paperclip is similar to OpenClaw. The biggest difference is Paperclip is relatively new. However, I like the dashboard, the user interface much better than I like OpenClaw. The only thing is with Paperclip, it's not yet connected to like a third-party platform such as like Slack or Discord to where I can communicate with the different agents. But I very much like how this is set up, right? So essentially, Paperclip is a tool that lets you, like, it builds your company for you, which is kind of crazy, right? It builds your company for you. All you have to do is assign a target, and it's gonna go ahead and hire the people that it needs to execute all of the all the targets that you have essentially, right? So essentially what that means is, to show you on the walkthrough over here. So I have the company that I'm building right now, which is Light Media, which is my performance marketing agency, right? And as you can see over here, so on goals, right? One thing I have to do is like, hey, I just assign it what the goal is, right? And then it's gonna start building the team needed to execute on that. So just to go back on essentially like on the organization chart, right? The org chart, it shows you the team structure that it has and building the company for me. Essentially currently right now we have a CEO. The first agent that you have to create is a CEO. The CEO then goes ahead and build and hire everybody else that he needs to build the company based on like the target that you have. This is the org chart over here. So I have the CEO, right? And then we also have a VP of paid media. We have a CFO, and then we have a operational manager, and we have a VP of sales, right? So that's like exec level, right? And then below those, for example, for the VP of paid media, we have a content writer, we have a creative strategist, and we have a paid media buyer, right? The paid media buyer is gonna go ahead and kind of what I just showed you right now on OpenClaw is gonna go ahead and build the campaigns for me in any ad account, whether that's Meta, whether that's Google, like whatever. It's gonna go ahead and build the campaigns for me. The creative strategist is in charge of putting together like the creative, and then obviously the copywriter does the copy, right? So they work together to execute campaigns for my clients on my behalf, right? And then you have the VP of sales. The VP of sales has a sales development rep who does outreach through Apollo. So I've connected this on Apollo. So per what I just showed you on OpenClaw, it can go in and build sequences and add contacts and set up like the whole messaging just based upon the target that we have. It just does this automatically. Now, obviously you can still play a part into this, meaning you have to approve the different tasks that it's assigning or that is in place. Meaning, if I go to the inbox section over here, you can see all the tasks that the company, like that the agents have been working on, right? You can see all these different tasks from all the different like agents, right? You can see, boom, this is what I've been doing, this is what I did. Like you can see all the details, right? So you're never like, oh, what did this person do? Or what did this person do? Or what did this agent do? Like you can see everything every single day, right? And then if I go on the dashboard over here, the dashboard over here, one of the things that I really like about this that you can't really see as much on OpenClaw, it tells you exactly how much you're spending because all of AI is connected through tokens, meaning you have to connect different API. I mean, for example, you have like Claude Code, you have like ChatGPT, and you have like Gemini as well, right? Those are essentially like the brains that runs the different AI agents, right? And then based like ChatGPT, Claude, you have to integrate those through API, right? And those API use tokens to operate and to run, right? And it lets you know exactly how much you're spending on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on executing all the different tasks, right? So it can get costly if you're not like properly like managing like your budget. Like, but the thing is, you can see in clear details who is spending what, right? On a month to date, this is how much I've spent so far on like the tokens on the different tasks that the agents are essentially like executing. So it gives you like full details of like, it's amazing, right? And it's something that OpenClaw doesn't yet do. I'm gonna create another video just to kind of go in more details, but I just wanted to show you guys like surface level of like what is happening, the things that we're currently doing right now, and it's just mind blowing, right? Okay guys, that is the walkthrough. That's what I've been spending a lot of my time just building these tools that are gonna essentially facilitate the process of running an agency in the future. We're actually already doing this like right now, per the example that I just showed you. It is mind blowing, it is crazy. And this is something that if you're not already investing into developing the skill set to be able to like set up these different automation using Claude Code, using OpenClaw, using like Paperclip, you need to start doing that right now. Not as an agency owner, but also as an e-commerce brand owner that is actually managing a brand. Like you need to learn how to set up all these different things to essentially like facilitate like your workflow, your day-to-day just activities, right? Because it's gonna save you so much more time and so much more capital, as you won't need to hire as many people anymore, as you have all these different agents doing this task for you. Again, it is mind-blowing. You need to be investing the time and energy like right now, learning these tools. Guys, if this video was super helpful for you, right? Super helpful, and I hope that it was, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and if you guys have any question, leave them down in the comment section below. And if you guys want help in essentially just setting this up, or if there's any question that you have in terms of like the different tools that we're using at the agency just kind of facilitate our workflow, let me know down in the comment section below, and I will create a different video just kind of walking through that. Guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Frank Kenny signing out.